Hey everyone, welcome back. Hopefully you had a chance to stretch and walk around. We're headed into my favorite part of the Pro Summit. We're going to hear from 5 Pro members of our advisory board. And as I've said before, our Pro community, all of you, is the heart of Thumbtack's business. It's what keeps us going, drives us to be the best we can be. This is our 3rd year of our Pro advisory board. A few years ago, we started with like just 13 members, and our group has since grown to 40 with businesses and locations in all 50 major cities and geos across the country. Our board consists of top pros and leaders in a multitude of categories with over 200,000 customer contacts, 15,000 reviews. And as Marco loves to say, the purpose is really about partnership. And this should be the deepest and closest partnership we have with our pros. And throughout that, connect with us more deeply with the hundreds of thousands of pros we have on our platform today. So please join me in welcoming Donald, Nick, Selena, Dion, and Jen. Thank you guys for joining. I could not be more thrilled to be talking to each and every one of you and taking the time out of your day to be here with us. What I'd love to do is for everyone watching, can you guys just give us a bio, who you are, what you do, maybe tell us about Thumbtack a little bit? Yeah. Dion?
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin. My name is Dion Marichal. I'm the owner of Antillian Restoration. We are a general contracting service that specializes in old home restorations. We're based actually out of the Lehigh Valley, and we have a really strong passion for working on older homes. We've been on the Thumbtack profile platform for about almost 3 years now. So in the middle of 2023 is when we started. Thumbtack started off as it was a little bit of a learning curve, but we've since grown into, being a really fast-growing company on the platform. So I'm happy to be here today along with the other panelists to talk about what that experience is like and, tips and tricks to help you all.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to diving deeper into your business model. Jen?
Hello, I'm Jen Boyle. I'm owner and operator of Made This Cleaning of Salt Lake City and Provo. What we specialize in is move-in, move-out cleans, residential cleans, commercial cleans for office spaces, Airbnb cleans. But what we really do is we don't just clean, we actually restore your property. We breathe life back into your property. We give you your time back. We give you the comfort of knowing your house is clean and healthy.
Yep.
And we love what we do. And I love Thumbtack. A quick success story that I have with Thumbtack, if you don't mind. One of our first leads was a gal who just wanted monthly cleaning. So we go up there and we show up monthly, clean her house. Well, her neighbor sees us, right? And so we start cleaning her house monthly. And then the neighbor across the street is moving. So they have us do a move out clean. And then it just continued to just, skyrocket from there. So we're thankful to be here and thankful for the time that you give us.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Donald?
So Jen cleans and I make things dirty. Donald Hawkins, owner of Argo Home Services. We're a home repair and renovation service based out of Metro Atlanta, Georgia. We also service South Georgia and also Johnson County, Kansas. We've been members of Thumbtack for a little bit over a year, about a year and a half. I've seen tremendous growth, really excited about the platform, love a lot of the things that I heard today, and so excited to be with these other panelists.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Nick?
Nick Bennett, AC Inc. Roofing, Denver, Colorado. We're a roofing company out of Denver that also services Cheyenne, Wyoming. Most of our clients, we're dealing with storm restoration, but we also help our clients with retail and repair quotes as well. We've been with Thumbtack now since 2017, which has given us 7 Top Pro Awards, and just really excited about the direction of Thumbtack and where it's headed.
Heck yeah. That's a long time. I didn't even know that.
Very cool.
Thanks,
a long time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for just being here and with the other panelists. My name is Selena Long-Reese, and I am the Executive Concierge of So Unique Concierge Service. We offer professional organizing, downsizing, and then move management or coordination for seniors, busy professionals, and their loved ones. We've been on Thumbtack well over 4.5 years, and I can say I have definitely seen exponential growth with starting as a one-woman operation, and now we're in 3 locations, which is Tampa, Florida, Brooklyn, New York, and Baltimore, Maryland, and we're expanding. So I love Thumbtack, and I'm looking forward to continuing to grow.
We have a pretty stacked panel, and I will be honest with you, since we're live, we're just rolling with it, and they're rolling with it too. So we're just going to kick things off. Donald, I'm going to assume you're relatively probably the newest on this panel, right? But you have expanded tremendously. Like what has led to that expansion, and how has Thumbtack helped you get there?
We spend a lot of time at Argo Home Services focused on things that we can do to differentiate from our competitors, especially when you're in saturated markets. You want to have something that creates that moat between you and the folks that you compete with. What's been really cool is Thumbtack has taken so much of the additional work off of our plate from an operational perspective, obviously lead generation, being able to get in contact with customers very quickly, but also with validation. Like being on the Thumbtack platform, also being a top pro within our short time being on the platform has helped a ton. We're obsessed with the customer. We want to learn as much as we can about them, and we continue to iterate and refine our process as we move along. But it's been great. Business has been booming, and we're excited for more.
That's what specifically do you think Thumbtack is like contributing to outside of the operational, the leads, and making it like a little bit easier? Where do you envision it going?
You know, I feel as Thumbtack's brand continues to scale and grow and influence continues to scale and grow, my business can grow along with it.
Okay.
And I see other pros like Nick, you know, that have done some amazing things on the platform, which I would assume now makes it much easier for him to convert. We've just gotten started, and we're already seeing pretty significant growth and success. So right now, we're just riding the wave. So you all keep growing, and I want to grow with you.
Okay. And Nick, you know, I'll go from probably the newest member to, I'm going to assume, the oldest member on the platform. You have over 200 5-star reviews. What's the strategy? What's the tricks to get that?
Yeah, for us, it's really just meeting our clients where their needs are, taking the time to learn what their expectations are, and really just setting the whole table for that 5-star experience. You really can't know what that might look for each client until you ask. So setting those expectations that you're willing and wanting to meet that for each client, and then following up through the whole process and making sure that you do end up finishing that project and then asking that client for that review. It's just really setting the table for that experience and making sure you meet their expectations.
Any other feedbacks on the review side from anyone else? Because I feel like that's such a hot topic, right? Like the review process.
Yes.
Any other tips or tricks that you guys have experienced?
We also ask for reviews. If you don't ask, you know, you'll never get one.
Right.
So, I mean, the reviews are great. It's great to have 5-star reviews. We have gotten a less than stellar review before, and it scared me, you know, when I was first down, like, But it was a learning process, you know, in that bad review. It really wasn't bad. You know, we turned it into a good experience and learned from it, how to better serve our customers. So.
Yep.
Yeah, we love reviews.
Yes.
Love reviews. Any other, like, what do you do? Just send them out to the customer? Like, what if you don't even have them as a customer? Do you?
So not if we don't have them as a customer, but so what we do on our end is, let's say, for instance, when it's coming down to the ending, like maybe within the last hour or so, we actually go to the customer and ask them right then and there. Because the bottom line is the greatest opportunity is when you're in front of that customer.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Then ask them to write it. And the experience is relatively new right then and there, so they're more than willing, right? We all have busy lives, so as a result, once we walk away, it's harder to get them to do that review.
Yeah.
But if we ask them right then and there, it's like, hey, I'm finishing up. This is the last half an hour, the last hour. Would you mind?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And one last golden nugget that I learned from Nick, which has really stood out, is reminding the customer that the reason they chose you is because of the review. I'm clearly taking all the time away from
Yes,
Right.
yes.
His words through my mouth.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
reminding the new customers, hey, you found me this way.
Yeah.
Help me find other customers the same way. That's
Precisely.
golden.
Pearl aspect.
Yep.
Golden.
Yeah,
Find
yes.
others. Yeah, that was a key trend I picked up on you guys last night.
And then on top of that as well, I mean, you know, the Thumbtack platform also kind of sets you up for success. It's really important for you to pay attention to some of the features that are on it. You know, when you complete a job through the Thumbtack profile, there's actually a spot where you can put, you know, job pending, job done. And a lot of times I've seen with some of the newer pros, they might not actually go and adjust some of those settings if they complete a job. So you can actually go through and hit job done, and there's an automatic prompt that's going to come that's going to allow you to send that feedback request right over to the customer, even schedule it out. So it's important to, during your onboarding process, to make sure you're using the platform to its fullest potential.
Capacity.
You guys touched on response, like getting to the customer. Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, you're responding to your customers in like what, 10 minutes or less?
Yes, absolutely.
You gotta give us some
Yikes.
sauce. Like how are you doing this?
It's really important to respond quickly and nicely, and respectfully. So like, the back end part of it, we have quick responses that we have tailored to our customers that we can just quickly, at least let them know we hear you, we see you. But I think one of the most important things to keep in mind is that's your first impression and how you respond. And so when you respond quick and you respond fair and professional, they already are building that relationship with you, which is what we're all doing, right? We're here to build relationships. You start right out building that trust relationship when you respond quickly. Because if we look at it from a personal standpoint, I love when people respond to me quickly. They hear me, they feel me. It's human nature to want to go to someone who cares about you quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip it though. I forgot if it was Dion or maybe it was Daniel. One of you mentioned you've been getting customers 6 months down the road because you still stay in contact with
Yes.
them. Right? And maybe all of you have had that
yeah.
experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just as important to respond quick, but also more than one time.
Follow
Yep.
up.
Yeah, follow up.
And then I can add to that also outside the windows of your typical business hours.
Yeah.
That's also a great way too, because people, once again, we're all living relatively busy lives, right? So they may have had a break during lunch and they're like, I need to do this, so they send it. However, what has happened? Okay, now they go back to work, they're busy. So if you can catch them within that, let's say 7 o'clock in the morning to 8:30, that's before they go to work. Most people report at 9, or outside in the evening time. So whether it's 6, 7 to 8:30 at night, then you can capture them and they can focus as well in responding.
Makes sense.
Because it's outside of the window. They're not being pulled in 101 different directions.
Yeah.
Dion, correct me if I'm wrong, you consistently rank in the top like 3 all the time. Like, what are you doing to make sure your ranking is always up at the top?
Yep, it's a great question. For starters, adjusting lead costs and lead price, right? So making sure you're getting comfortable using the analytics function on Thumbtack, so you can kind of see where your price point is per lead and what's available. So that's number one. That's going to help you get a better understanding of your market. The second most important thing is going to be your response time. You want to get back to customers and clients, as soon as you get that lead in. And there's a few different ways of handling that, and I'm sure we're going to get into more of that during the course of the panel. But just getting back to your customers and to kind of build on what Jen said, is to let them know that you acknowledge what's going on, if you have a concern. And everyone on Thumbtack, we all have different trades, and as we continue through the panel, you'll see different trades based on different technical skills might have a different approach to things.
Yeah.
Love that. That's good insight. Any other tips, tricks you guys would add?
I have a fun story.
Yeah, let's do it.
We were, getting ready to go to bed the other night at 11:30, and we had a lead come through, and we responded, "Hey, what are your needs?" And she responded back, "Oh, I didn't know anyone at Thumbtack was up at 11:30 at night." And I'm like, "Well, we are." So it's just about making sure your customer and your client are heard.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone wants to be heard.
Yep.
So.
And making it real and authentic, so I
Yes,
keep picking up
yes.
on here. And
Yeah.
then what about when a customer or a lead is unresponsive? Because I know that's a big one.
Yeah.
I hear it on the support functions all the time. Like, what do you guys do with unresponsive?
For me, it's all about nurturing the lead. And I think that there's a lot of things as pros that we can do better that I call blocking and tackling. You got to keep your profile updated, and clearly my hand is up. I'm guilty of that as well. Update your profile with the new work that you've done, and make sure that you nurture the lead. When the lead comes in, people have a lot of things going on, right?
Yeah.
Taking their phone number, their email address, any information you have, put them on a drip campaign.
Yeah.
Whether that be us educating them through emails and text messages on resources and articles that they could read, not making it transactional, where the only time you hear from me is when I'm asking you for the business. I want to get to know you. So there's a way to nurture those leads to make sure that eventually, when they do wake up, you provided them some value.
Yeah. And it's about staying top of mind, right?
Yes.
You want to stay top of mind to your client.
Totally.
And if you're not drip campaigning them and you don't show that you really care about them, they don't feel like they're top of mind, right? So, yeah.
Yep. These are nuggets. I hope everyone's walking away with some tricks here. But this one I want to bring up is one that's passionate to me, and it's kind of figuring out like ROI. How do you know budget? How do you know what to set your price and like your preferences? And Selena, I feel like talking to you, you've kind of figured out this more than others. And can you share what you're doing? Like, how do you set your budgets?
Yeah, so we have an Excel spreadsheet that we generally put that lead into. And we look at it through, I guess, 4 categories. One is the acquisition of the lead, how much we paid for the lead, how much we paid to provide the estimate or proposal, how much it costs to actually do the job itself.
Right.
And then what we do is then look at, okay, based on how much we paid for the lead, and it doesn't mean that it's right then and there, like that first time that the customer. We're looking at it over a period of time. So whether it may be 3 months or 6 months or a year, because a lot of times you have that client either coming back to you or you're deepening those relationships with that client by saying, hey, who is within your circle of influence that can also benefit from the services that we've offered you, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And as a result, then you're able to track your ROI based on that.
And so you're seeing success tracking your ROI.
Yes.
So you watch the whole funnel. So
The
like
whole funnel.
like from cost to acquisition
Yes,
to close.
to close, exactly.
Okay.
The whole journey. And another thing we do as well is when we go into a client, because that's now that's a client, we utilize that client to now go on the left and the right of that client to say, hey, we just met with Jen, and as a result, she spoke about you really highly, but you know we were there to provide this service, I'm sure.
You're talking about
Exactly.
referrals,
So
right?
we're tapping, yes. So now we're tapping into that, yeah.
Does everyone do a version of this or seeing success with that or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Got a prospect.
Got a prospect?
Yeah, I think it's really important when you're talking about ROI, your return on investment. We were just talking, Don and I, it's important to know that this is a long game
Yes.
most of the time,
Yes.
right? And you really pay attention to the lifetime value of your client.
Absolutely.
And that's really is priceless if you think about it. Like our clients are maybe the lifetime value is maybe $1,200, but it can exceed that, but that's our responsibility to exceed that. That's our responsibility to go above and beyond the tools that Thumbtack gives us and then go and market so you get more ROI on that one lead and it just snowballs into other leads that you couldn't even imagine.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, it just keeps going and going.
Yeah.
Donald, I feel like you have, like, how do you think about budget and like, what's your strategy?
You got to spend money to make money, right? You know, that's a big
No
part of
doubt
it.
about that.
And one of the things that Selena mentioned that I also think is so important is when you think about those categories, your cost per lead, cost per estimate, cost per conversion, all those 3 things are levers that you can work on and improve. So, and if you correct and benefit and scale down the cost per lead,
Right.
which there's some room in navigation you can do within Thumbtack, then that makes your cost per estimate cheaper. If your cost per estimate is cheaper, your cost per conversion
Have
is
a
cheaper.
strategy. You got to play
Yes.
with it.
Exactly, and all those are things as business owners, when we mention blocking and tackling, sometimes it's so easy for us to go from project to project. We don't do the busy work in between to make sure that we take care of working on the business.
What about preferences? Like, how does that relate? So we talk about budget. Like, do you do anything with preferences?
I mean, seasonality is a big part of my business.
Yeah.
You know, during heavier seasons like deck season in the fall, really important for us to tone down the 5 deck board repair jobs. We much rather prefer, you know, the much larger composite decking jobs.
I don't blame
You
you.
know, so we make those adjustments. And then when I first started on Thumbtack, it was the opposite. We wanted to keep the aperture open and broad. We wanted all the jobs as broad as we could get. And that was also very beneficial. A lot of those 5-deck repair jobs turned into bathroom remodels and future decking projects.
There's a theme.
All
coming
right.
up here.
Yes.
There's a theme. And
Yeah.
how about you, Nick? Like, what are you doing with preferences, or how do you think about this?
Yeah, so from our side, we are primarily a storm-driven market. So Thumbtack really allows us the flexibility and the strategic advantage to choose and pick which categories make the most sense of us, or make the most sense for our company at multiple times of year. So if my company is moving a little bit slow come spring, tail end of winter, we might be more open to running repairs or taking care of clients with smaller projects, similar to Don as well. But for us, once a storm hits, Monday I might be looking at repairs. Tuesday, I'm going to change my preferences because a major storm just hit a zip code 3 towns away, and there's no local roofing companies. So it really using
You're messing with it almost daily, it feels like.
absolutely, especially in Colorado, where 1 week I could have no storms, and the next week I could have 3 within a 100-mile radius. That brings us anywhere from 60 to 100,000 potential audience members that we could approach as clients.
That's I didn't think about it from that standpoint. And preferences are important, budget's important, but like going in and maximizing it due to weather patterns and what that was
incredible.
yeah, that's that caught me off guard when you brought that up. So
Super smart.
it is really smart.
Yes, it is.
it's
That's
really
next
smart.
level.
Yeah, well,
You
that's
know,
why I've been here
That's
next
top row
level,
for
Nick.
7 years. All right, so we continue to be the smartest investment. Like you heard it this morning in some of those other sessions, essentially. What I want to understand now is, how do you think of Thumbtack moving forward as a business partner? Like what's new? What's changing? How have you evolved? How are you staying top of mind and relevant? And how is Thumbtack helping you do that?
Yeah.
Anyone can answer that one.
Yeah, I think just from our side and seeing what's coming up in the future here, early on with Thumbtack, I remember a lot of, as a new company and being fresh to the internet, we needed visibility, and frankly, we couldn't afford it. But being that we're such a big player with Thumbtack, we, did see a large SEO push because of some of the early advances that your team made.
Wow.
And it's really interesting to see the approach with Alexa and the AI functions, where if clients are going to now be searching for companies like us through those methods, it's great to know that you're really in front of that and making sure that we're going to get that visibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts about Thumbtack is kind of to in line with what Nick said, the SEO, and also to the reviews. It gives us, in a new market, let's say if we're expanding into a new market, Thumbtack really helps us. It provides that review database so that people can look us up as a company and almost in a way pre-vet us. Because originally I'm not from the area that we started our business in, so it was a little bit difficult to break into that market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a common gripe that a lot of small businesses or small contractors run into. So really, I'm excited about the sustainability aspect.
Then how did you do it? Like so breaking into a market that isn't your niche market.
Right.
Sure.
What did you do?
So one of the biggest things, guys, don't underestimate. I know Thumbtack gives you this massive list of options that you can choose. What we started doing actually originally at first is don't be afraid of taking on small jobs. Small jobs have, especially if you have that penchant like Donald does for customer service and understanding your customer, you can take on those small jobs, and a lot of times they can turn into bigger jobs. So when I first started, it was a one-man operation. We were just going around I was going around changing outlets, and then outlets turned into running entirely different circuits, and then on top of that, EV chargers, and it kind of expands from that. So the thing is, you can use some of these smaller jobs as a way to increase your review and legitimacy on the platform, which is good, right? That's going to increase your metric. And then on top of that, it's an opportunity for you to grow that long-term relationship, because this customer is going to say, "Oh, I remember." I remember Dion. He, replaced a faucet. Maybe he can, redo the shower, and so on and so forth. So it just gives you that opportunity. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, and it's really dependent on your ability to tap into and talk to your customer and service that customer. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, but you definitely want to use Thumbtack in that way. So the moral of the story is, don't forget about the smaller leads. Sometimes the small jobs actually really carry weight.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
And it's cheaper.
And it's cheaper.
Hey. All right, look, let me turn the tables a little bit.
Okay.
What's an operational challenge you guys have that we're not solving, or like what's something we can maybe be doing better?
We've been with Thumbtack for, it's been 7 years now, and something that we do occasionally see, and it's not always, a negative. We love revisiting our clients, but we do sometimes get multiple submissions from the same client. We've been around long enough where they might find us again and not remember that they chose us once before. Maybe they have a new phone and they're hitting us,
Paying
again.
for that.
Yeah.
We do, yeah. Sometimes we'll get an additional charge for that same lead.
Yep.
I'd say for me, one of the things that's grinded my gears, but we got solutions today. It's all about engagement, right? Being able to fill that gap between leads coming in and turning them into estimates is a pain point for a lot of pros. And I feel the new SMS feature that marries with the email is going to help a ton.
Yes.
I mean, that's a pretty simple feature that
But
could
it's
have massive
gonna
results.
impact, yeah.
So really excited about that.
Yeah. And for me, I know when I'll just be really transparent, if that's okay.
Yeah,
When
what
we
we want.
started getting some of our first leads, we're like, whoa, that's expensive. Like, whoa, this is this and this is that. And then, like I said before, you really have to look at the long game. And you guys are great at helping us with the long game. And so operationally, that was a hard pill to swallow at first.
Were
I'll
we
be
great
honest.
at helping you with the long game, though?
Are you
Yes.
great? Yes. Yes,
What
absolutely.
did we do to help you figure that out?
Well, okay, I'll tell you. We called Kevin, our account manager, right up. Shout out Kevin, right?
Shout out, Kevin.
And we said, Kevin, what's the deal, right? And he talked to us on how to manage the cost per lead, right? And how to manage the long-term game. So yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm not trying to toot your horn.
No,
But
actually
you
wanted
guys
to-
are wonderful at doing that.
I think it's an area of
Really,
opportunity
truly.
for us. I think we could
Yes.
be better at the education piece. So I was actually trying
Leading
to pull
into
that
that,
out.
leading into that.
But I'm glad you had a good experience.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I think it is hard for many pros to find success when they're getting charged $80 and they're
Yeah.
like, what do we do? How do we handle it?
Well,
Then
reach
they-
out to your people. You guys have a great support system. And if you didn't, we would be like, what do we do with our hands?
Right.
I think I know just on the sport teams, we hear that all the time. Like, I got 6 leads, none of them converted. This stinks. What would you say to that?
I would say be patient. Number one, be patient. And sometimes it feels, I remember, and pros might feel this way, that you get like a fire hose to the face. Like there's
Yeah.
so much information. You can do this on the Front Desk Plus. You can do this. You can do this. Well, I would like to challenge pros to just start with one small thing.
Yes.
You know, put
a good tip.
pictures, like you said, of your most recent job. Just start there with your profile. Beef up your profile. You know, but it's the small things that add up to the big things that make you look like a shining star. So,
Great.
Good trick.
Thumbtack gives you a really great training environment for your company where if you just follow the standards that the platform asks of you, quick response time, following up with your folks, and making sure that you're giving them that 5-star experience, if you create your business around that, you really have the basis for a great model for onboarding every client. And it just kind of sets that standard for your business where response time on Thumbtack mean everything, and it should for all the rest of your leads as well. It's just a great training tool.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. One of the biggest, strange enough, one of the biggest gripes I've heard from customers when they're using the platform is that people don't get back in
To them.
time. It's like many hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After they reach out. So this is
Responsive.
low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? If there's someone that you have operationally as part of your company that you can dedicate to just answering questions and have your notifications on that account, it's gonna pay you dividend. Oftentimes the customers are so happy with the first person that reaches out to them. So if you can strive, it's kind of a secret weapon here. If you can strive to be the first one to respond to a customer,
Absolutely.
that puts you ahead of the game. So you have to be very aggressive in that capacity.
And if you're Dion's competitors, he really doesn't want you to respond.
Actually,
You can.
One of the things I'm going to add as well is, so I know at one point in time when I first started and I was a one-woman operation, sometimes I'm at a job and it's kind of hard to respond. So I remember talking to my coach about it, and she said, why don't you create just 3 questions that you can actually send to that client, and that would keep them engaged because they ask you, right? You create that, you send it out to them, and then that's it.
That's a good
They
one.
respond,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
And the engagement is on us. You guys tee us up for that. You guys give us everything we need to do to quickly respond, but it's up to us to actually do it.
Yep.
Right?
Last thing to add to that, not to beat a dead horse, but I think it's also important. Remember that customers are humans, right? And remember that element when you're having the conversation with them. They want to get the job done. They may not have a clue about how much it costs.
Us, right?
And
That's
they reached out to you for a reason, right?
Yep.
So if you got contacted, congratulations, you're in the game.
Yeah.
How can you differentiate from other pros that have also been contacted? And you
Critical.
do the simple blocking and tackling, but remember, they're humans too.
Yep.
So help them.
Donald, real quick before we start wrapping up, I'm curious, How much of your business do you think comes from Thumbtack today? And really for anyone, but what do you think?
Easily 60 to 70%. You know, I leave my profile on unlimited, so I want you all to feed me as much as possible. You know what? And it's because of the success that we've had from the
But you've
platform.
enjoyed,
It's
exactly.
incentivized me to spend more. So it feels more like an asset versus an expense.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to gather
Absolutely.
more assets.
Yes.
So it's been productive.
And for us, 50% of our reoccurring customers are Thumbtack
Wow.
clients.
That's beautiful.
So that just, when we
That's
talked
beautiful.
about return on investment, to be able to capture that much percentage on a recurring basis,
Massive.
it's huge.
And that helps with your LTV and ROI, and that's
And social proof and all of
and
that kind
exactly.
of stuff.
all right. As we wrap up, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Talked a lot about today about the experience and better matching, more leads, everything you've heard up to this point. What's one tip? What's one nugget? What's one takeaway? Just everyone watching, what would you tell them?
Sure. For me, when I started out, it was really difficult to just stay calm and relaxed and work a lead where, you know, when I got one lead, I wanted 2 leads and 3 leads and 4. And the biggest thing that our company has done is really slowed down and just focused on that lead that you get. Oftentimes as a new company, you don't need more leads. You just need to create better processes for dealing with
Quality.
your leads
Yes.
and making sure that you're doing things right
Yes.
and setting that standard. And when you do that, you do find that you don't need more leads. You're going to end up getting more referrals. You're going to end up meeting neighbors. It's going
Totally
to
agree. Totally agree.
What other nuggets? That's a good one.
He's full of them.
I know.
Yeah, full of nuggets.
A lot of nuggets.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead. No, no.
I would say understanding your local market is a really important thing. You know, understanding what trades are out there and the types of homes that might exist. So I'll give you guys an example. In the Lehigh Valley, where we're based out of, there's lots of old homes. We're talking 1800s, stone house, beautiful,
Wow.
absolutely beautiful homes. One thing I understand about those is those are old homes and they have old home problems. In particular, you know, old cast iron pipes. You know, so I understand that, you know what I mean, plumbing in that area is probably going to be something worthwhile. Decks, you know, a lot of the decks were, you know, built by, you know, Uncle Jim, you know, many years ago, and it worked really well for 5 years. But you know what I mean, you know, they didn't follow proper code. So you know, the piers of the deck and the posts are rotting. So I know that, you know, decks are going to be a particular good proposition in that area. So I think understanding your local markets. You have new homes, you have old homes. What kind of homeowners are in this area? Are they new homeowners? Are they, you know, people who've been there for a long time and established? So trying to take as much time as you can to understand that local market.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say definitely. So really, that customer reached out for a reason. Really honing in on that, especially if they've left, like, you know, sometimes they leave like little messages or they may leave a whole dissertation, right? But really taking the time to read through that, and then when you speak with them, speaking to those points, right? Because then they really feel heard and seen and really empathizing. So I know for myself as a professional organizer, I'm always saying, I want you to commend yourself for for initiating this conversation, because there's a lot of people who's sitting in this situation and they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So empathizing with that client and then honing in on what specifically they said their pain point was, because when you can speak to that pain point, then they really feel heard and valued.
Yeah.
See them as human.
Yes.
Relate to them.
Relate.
Understanding your local markets.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah.
I would say, if you don't mind, I lean on your team. So like I said, sometimes these kinds of summits and things like that, you can feel like a fire hose to the face,
Yeah.
right? Ask questions. These people, Thumbtack is a tech company, but they are so human, right? They want you to ask questions. They want you to be curious. Be curious about what's going on Thumbtack. Ask questions. When people say, call me and ask questions, I'm like, are you sure? Because I'm going to be calling you. So pick up the phone, you know,
Right.
play around with it. Feel free, be free, and just know that the team here, they're human, and they really, truly do want you to succeed. It is pretty incredible. Yeah.
And I'll add, I'm going to go a little bit of a different direction. I want you pros to look at me. This is very important. That update that you've been talking about making, make the update.
I agree.
Your profile update your profile.
Yes.
That blog on your website, get it updated. Do the blocking and tackling. Those are the small, intricate things that will help your business level up. I took my glasses off, so I'm serious.
Yeah, he did. He's gonna go right off.
I'm scared. I don't know.
Do the work.
Do the work.
Block and
Ask the
tackle.
questions.
Well, I am so grateful for you guys' time and all the energy that you brought and spending time with me and all of us today. I couldn't be more proud of your success on Thumbtack, and truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I hope all of you have gained some insights and tips and how you can best use Thumbtack to your advantage, especially with hearing from these pros. I do wish we had more time for questions, but still, we have a lot of content to cover. So before we jump into the breakouts, I do want to cover that if you are on the YouTube link, the Zoom link is working. Now's a great time to actually, if you want, to log out and log back into the Zoom link, and you'll have access to these breakout rooms. But I'd like to encourage everyone to join our pro community. It's an online forum where these pros that you just heard from and others can share insights, tips, and tricks, and comments, concerns, and you're able to connect and mentor with other pros and continue this conversation that you heard up here. You can find various ways to gain insight and knowledge articles and webinars, and that's what I hope you hear today. So if you're interested, there will be a link post the event that will email you, and you'll receive all of this information and link to that community page. I encourage each and every one of you to take advantage of that. So now it's time for our breakout rooms. This is a chance for you to dive deeper, ask specific questions, connect with one another, hear from some of our top pros. Each breakout is designed to help you supercharge your business. And you can be on camera and be interactive, or you can just choose to listen in. That's okay too. If you stay here on the main stage or continue on that YouTube link, you'll hear from an AI industry expert on how you can leverage AI to grow your business. You can also choose any of our other sessions. In breakout number 1, Thumbtack's very own Annette will share how you can build your best customer-facing profile, which highlights your expertise and attract the right customers. Like Donald said, that blocking and tackling, do the work. In number 2, one of our senior sales managers, Josh, will share those strategies, tools to help you close more leads and get more out of Thumbtack. In our third breakout room, another expert will share essential back office solutions to support your business. And if none of those interest you, that's okay. Right now, take advantage of one of our 3 pro roundtable rooms, just a way to communicate and connect with other pros in the industry. We have some top pros available to share their best tips and answer those questions you may have and go deeper on how to find success on Thumbtack. So I know it's not easy to pick one. I couldn't do it. The great news is all of these will be recorded, so you won't miss anything, and we'll send them out later. Again, reminder, go ahead and log out and log back in. If you're on the YouTube link, if you want to stay on, that's okay too, but you will have access to those breakout rooms via Zoom. If you don't see an option to join a breakout room, don't worry. We'll be sharing and leveraging AI to supercharge your business session here shortly, so enjoy learning. We'll see you back here in about 30 minutes for our leadership panel with Marco, PJ, and Mark to answer some of the questions that have been coming up today.